The highest point in my life is when I came here in Thailand and know more about God. And my lowest point in my life is when my father was died in 2000. When I came to Thailand, I went to church and I became part of the music team, and that's the I could go back in time. I want to change my education because my dream is to come here in Thailand, and now I'm here. And yes, technology can affect in my life because it can help me to communicate my family in the Philippines with my. When I was a kid, I'm happy to spend my time with my family, and when I'm adult, I know how to take care of.
Hi, I'm Firoz Siddiqui, 45 years old, and by nationality I'm a decisions that might have influenced in changing the course of my life that I could remember in my childhood when I was a student of grade 6. That time my parents were about to move out of country to pursue my dad's higher education. So at that point in time, in fact, they decided to put me in a good school rather than taking me along. The reason behind that, in fact, my father planned to come back after pursuing his doctoral. So once he was supposed to come back, at that point in time, I would be in a critical juncture. So that's why they did not want me to accompany them. Rather, they put me in a very good standard institution. So I think that decision of my parents, of course, helped me a lot to pursue my career later on in a specific course than that of ending up in a kind of mess. Struggles in my life that I would refer to two struggles that I could remember or refer. One is regarding my health conditions. I used to suffer a lot once I was a child, and I was a chronic asthmatic patient. So that got me suffering a lot. And the other one I could refer that in my professional life, I started my career in the military. So you know that military career is quite full of hardship and a lot of stresses, mental, physical, both. So that really I pursued for a little over 16 years. Uh, so I suppose that the struggles in the military I would never forget. Having my kids uh, and how that changed my life. In fact, I have two kids, my son and daughter. So I suppose that both these are most precious gifts of my life so far. And the first child, of course, is one of the worth mentioning that influences a lot. And my son was not in. Uh, no difference from that, and because he was my first child, and then once I became a father having him, so I had to share my time with him. I used to enjoy uh, playing with him whenever I'm back home. And to be honest, I used to look forward to that time when I would be back just to see that baby and seeing that baby, the smiles of the baby that would fulfill my life at that point in time. And also, I suppose that I would forget all my pain, struggles, whatever were there in the workplace or in the family. So, in one single sentence, that having a kid in the family, it influences every rights that I have at current point in time that I could refer in different ways, like uh, as I gained to 18, so I got a voting right, which wasn't there before I was 18. And then I can also refer some of the things like making my own decision in the family. Once I was not having my own family, I was part of my parents' family. So I just had my suggestions instead of making some decisions. But then now that I have the right to make such decision, also in my professional area, since I had a function in my organization, so as far as the functional decisions are concerned, I have the rights to make decisions those are contributing to business. My major dream that could be to be a successful professional in practical life. So as I said before that I started my career in the military, but the military is such type of career where you have hardly any freedom of thoughts, or you can't really think out of the box and go ahead like that. But then I didn't like that way of life, although I was there for quite long, many years. But then, at the back of my mind, it was always there that when I get out of the army and do something else where I can really show my potentials and the competencies. And I suppose that after leaving the army, it's been about 10 years or a little more than that, I reached to a position which is not really very easily attainable in the corporate sector. So I think that I could get to my aim so far, and I believe that there is still time left to go further. Historical events that I could remember, that I had a chance to work in Iraq in 2003-4. So at that point in time, it was the fall of Saddam regime. So I was part of that history. So I think that I would cherish these memories throughout my life. I'm proud of my family bondage, that I think that we can really take pride, which isn't there in many families. So I'm proud of my family. The organization that I work for currently, although it's a multinational company, but in true sense, maybe the multicultural atmosphere is something different, which isn't there in my current place. So I wish I could work in a much better multicultural atmosphere.